the idea that we exist just by chance alone takes more faith than someone creating us, in my opinion. And that just makes sense that it makes more sense that someone would create us than we would just come about by chance. How does it not require more faith to believe in that atheistic worldview of our existence than it does the Christian worldview of our existence?
I don't know how you've reached the conclusion, so you might just need to explain that to me before I can answer, that it makes more sense that a God has created us as opposed to just like random chance. And by us, do you mean humans or do you mean like the microbacteria on Mars, the quasars and black holes? Like, do you mean everything or do you mean specifically humans on planet Earth?
I'm speaking specifically to humans, but that doesn't
So
that doesn't mean no
I,
to the rest.
I can answer the rest then, because if you believe that everything in the universe was random chance except humans, then it seems like more of a leap of faith to me to imagine that human beings are the one exception amongst all the billions of other things that you already accept were just random chance
True.
created.
Okay. But that's not what I believe. I believe that God created everything, including humans.
So, what is the method of rational deduction that you applied that led you to say it makes more sense that a God created the universe than the universe than not that?
Right. The way I currently think about it, and I'm not saying this is the best rationale for it, but one way to conceptualize it is, as an artist or someone who creates something, you create that thing and it exists. That seems more reasonable and requires less faith than, I'll put it this way. Say someone introduced you to this um, ceramic jar and they
Hmm.
say, I made this. And he's like, okay, I believe you. It's easier to believe that than, hey, this ceramic jar just spontaneously formed out of this clay ball that I had.
Hmm. So, what I would say is that the imprecise nature of our language that we use for shorthand is possibly confounding the issue, because anybody who claims that they've made a ceramic jar is technically lying if you interpret their claim to mean that they have materialized the matter that made up that jar from
Mm,
nothing. The more
mm.
truthful thing to be is say, I took pre existing matter and I reshaped it according to a design in my mind, and now it looks like this ceramic jug.
Very good point. That's smart. Right. But where did that matter come from to begin with? How is it that matter just always existed?
It can't ever not exist. Um, I have explained this to religious people a number of times, and I usually don't manage to get my point across. So I should be well practiced at this, but it is a difficult thing for the mind to grasp. So
Okay.
let me try and explain to you where the flaw, as I see it in your thinking, is that you imagine two distinct states: existence and non existence. And you think, well, how can something go from non existence into existence? There must be a divine process that has transformed it to create that. But the flaw is in thinking that non existence exists. It doesn't. There is, in a sense, no such thing as non existence. It is simply an idea in your mind, but it actually has no basis in reality. There never has been nothing. There has never been something that did not exist. It's impossible. To talk about it is meaningless. We can have words that kind of approximate it, but we are just speaking in completely delusional terms. That does not exist. So it's not true that something has come from nothing. That's impossible because nothing has never existed. Existence exists, has always existed, couldn't ever not exist.
Hmm. And I guess the Bible's answer to that would be that, and I'm not rejecting what you're saying. I'm not denying it. I'm not even necessarily challenging it. I'm just trying to throw this out there for fodder.
Mhm.
That I think it would be that God always existed before the planets, before a solar system, before we ever existed. God is is how the Bible says it. So there's no end or start to God. God just is. But we have a start, and our existence on this planet has a start, and this planet has a start, and our solar system has a start. So God was that thing that was not nothing, and then He created this something. I think that's how the Bible would put it, if we were to kind of extrapolate it to what we're saying.
So, what I would say is that we have not ever had a true start, you and I, because the matter that makes up our bodies and our brains, which creates our consciousness and all of that stuff, was derived from materials that existed on the earth. There's nothing about us that is actually new. This is just matter that has recycled over millions and billions of years.
There's one thing that is new:
Mhm.
our souls, if you will, or our particular consciousness, or
Mhm.
consciousnesses, however you'd say that.
Yeah. What I'd say in scientific terms is our pattern, like our distinct signature. There's never been matter that has been organized in this particular way before with this kind of DNA to create this experience. That's brand new and that's pretty fucking cool. Like I love that. That's
It
really,
is.
really exciting. Like that gives me chills to sort of think about how unrepeatable and unique I am.
Yeah, you're special, man.
I
It's
believe it.
cool. But I don't see how, where's the proof that that is that it's the case that we are just an amalgamation of all this matter. You know, that we're not more, that's not merely our brains, our bodies, our hormones.
Are you saying like we're greater than the sum of our parts?
I'm implying that there seems to be something else about a human, a soul kind of factor that I don't know how to account for in the biological sense.
Yeah, I think that you're right. And that's really cool. I love that. I think that it's a sort of really beautiful part of existence that you can always reshape it into new things and, in a sense, give it like a new identity. You know, I think that's amazing and that we can keep creating new things by endlessly changing the way that this stuff is organized. It's a
What about twins?
gorgeous spot in between. Oh, I feel really quite moved by this between recognizing that on the one hand, there is nothing about us that is new. Everything that is inside your body was existing at the Big Bang, and whatever was before the Big Bang, and whatever has always existed. You couldn't be more dull and boring. And yet, there's something about you that is completely new, that has never been Ethan before. There's never been this conversation before. There's never been looking at this screen before. It is all completely distinct. Beautiful, just poetic and gorgeous and just yum. Like that is just delicious.
Even this interaction in our relationships. You know, there's like there's, you can think of it in terms of like a fractal of life and our experiences, just constant depth of newness and uniqueness to it. And it's
Mm,
such a rich complexity.
mm, it's awesome.
But I can't help but see the divinity in that in my mind. That's the crazy thing for me is like I look to God then when I realize that. I don't look to science.
Hey, I know that was not what you're used to seeing on this channel, so let me just quickly explain what happened. I had this guy who was always commenting in my YouTube videos, like blessing me, wishing me the best, just this really sincere Christian guy who's asking me questions about faith. And it's something I've been thinking about recently. And he just seemed so sincere that I wanted to chat to him. So I reached out to him via email so we could talk about Christianity and God and all of this stuff. And we ended up chatting for 4 hours. And I just thought it was fascinating. I just had such a good time talking to him. And I did think about posting like all 4 hours on my YouTube channel, but it's such a big departure from what I usually talk about. So I just posted this little snippet. But if you want to watch the rest of it, it's available for free on my Patreon. I'll put a link down below. You got to sign up as a free member, but there's no paywall. If, you're interested in watching 4-hour discussion of like spirituality and all that stuff, if that's the sort of thing you're interested in, then yeah, by all means, go check it out. Other than that, yeah, back to women and relationships next week.